From Relay, this is Upgrade, episode 526 for August 26th, 2024. Today's show is brought to you by Squarespace, Vitally, and Ladder. My name is Mike Hurley. I'm joined by Jason Snell. Hi, Jason.
Hello, Mike Hurley. How are you?
Summer of fun, baby.
Summer fun. We're doing it. We're doing it.
This might be the last summer of fun.
I know. We got to get it out now because there may be draft.
Maybe draft next week.
Marching band warming up at the North Tunnel, ready to march in for next week, maybe?
Yep. We'll find out. But for now, I have a Snell Talk question for you. It comes from Jerry. Jerry wants to know, Jason, what's your meal of choice to make on the grill? Or do you just say, what's your meal of choice to grill? I don't know.
Grill. You could say that. Oh, I don't know. Meal of choice is weird. Like, it's not the most common, maybe, but the one that marinated flank steak and corn.
Ooh, look at him. You know, no burgers and hot dogs in the Snell house.
And corn. You know? I mean, are the burgers more common? Yes.
But not favorite.
Or chicken. I mean, like chicken we do out there and steak we do out there, but my favorite is the marinated flank steak, and then you soak corn for like an hour, and then you just lay it just unshucked, and you lay it on the grill for like 25 minutes, and it cooks itself, it steams up, and then you just have corn and steak, and it's great. And you eat it outside, and it's wonderful. So that's my answer.
Need to have a barbecue at the Snell's house at some point. One of my favorite phrases that I've heard Stephen use in the past is cookout, which I think is a thing that is said in a lot of places in the South, I think, where that's grilling, a.k.a. what we would call barbecuing. And I just like that. We're having a cookout. I like that.
It's a cookout. Well, yeah, because I always think about cookouts as being like camping or something. But like, we also
maybe this is just a Stephen thing. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Casey has that favorite chain restaurant, right? That's called Cookout, isn't it? It's the same idea.
And I expect it's based on that term, right? Which is why.
Yeah.
It's like his like familial thing.
Maybe it's a southern thing. I don't know. Grilling, barbecuing.
Gotta love it.
Cookout.
If you'd like to send in a question of your own to help us open a future episode of the show, go to upgradefeedback.com and send in a Snell Talk question. Now, Jason, we have a lot of fun today, but first we have some lawyer up to do, because there's been some really interesting news in the past week or so concerning Apple and maybe their approaches to the European Union. First off is a report from Mark Gurman, who is reporting that Matt Fisher, who has been what is referred to in the article as the head of the App Store business. I think that is like a specific job title that I'm not sure we fully understand what that means, but like the business of the App Store, we'll call it. And also Apple Arcade. Fisher is departing the company in October due to a reorganization at Apple within the App Store team. So Fisher has been in charge of the App Store business since 2010. After his departure in October, the App Store is going to be split into two business groups. You have one for the App Store as we know it, the Apple App Store, and then one group in charge of alternative app stores, which I find fascinating. This, my initial read on this is like, they're very aware of how much work is going to be needed for this and how prevalent it's going to become, right? They're going to have somebody in charge of managing the relationships, if you would call them that, I guess, and the business of alternative app stores.
Yeah. I wonder if it's going to give them a little almost like deniability where they can say, look, we now are keeping the App Store business separate from how we deal with alternative app stores. So we're allowing them to be sort of separate. It's interesting. I mean, he's been in charge since 2010, but I mean, Phil Schiller's been in charge of him since 2010, right? Like he reports to Phil Schiller. And this article makes it clear again that, Phil Schiller is an Apple fellow and he's ascended and is on the roof and all of that, but like he runs the App Store.
Yeah.
And these
Mark
people
says this was Phil's idea.
Bill.
This is Phil's thing to split it up like this. And it is to kind of help them navigate this climate that they found themselves in. I'll read a quick quote from Gurman about who's coming in. Carson Oliver, a longtime senior director, will run the App Store group, while Ann Tai, a director in charge of App Store features like search and discovery, will lead the new team responsible for alternative distribution. Both managers will report to Schiller. I remember Ann being in part of a presentation about Apple Arcade once. I know that she was like, she was involved in Apple Arcade in its beginning. But yeah, so Ann is going to be running the alternative app store group.
Yeah, it's very interesting, right? I wonder what this says about, is this like a little tiny corner of Apple, or is it, as you said, the anticipation that this is going to be a larger issue and that they need to essentially have a team for things outside the App Store and a team for things inside the App Store?
Yep.
Like, I don't know. And then the big question is there a level of unhappiness here, a feeling like they need to reset relationships? Phil Schiller's still in charge of it all, so if there's a top-down approach of policy, like the guy in charge is still the guy in charge, but maybe from a lower level, kind of like, how are we dealing with alternative app stores, having a refresh with new faces, they might find that useful.
I mean, you can begrudge it, but still respect it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, this could be a scenario where they're like, we don't want to have to do this, but we understand we need to do this. Like, that could be what we're seeing. Apple have also announced some changes to the way that default apps on iOS and iPadOS in the EU will work. So previously we had the browser choice screen, which was criticized by the European Commission as not being, the design was not good enough in their opinion, not good enough information. So the browser choice screen, so when users are shown, like, hey, what browser do you want to use? I'm actually not clear if this is shown as part of Startup, or I guess it's shown as part of maybe Startup, and also when somebody upgrades to whatever version of iOS will include this. I guess they'll be shown this as part of the onboarding. The browser choice screen will now include more information about the apps that you'll be choosing from, like App Store descriptions and information, which is one of those things where you read it and you're like, it's kind of funny to not even have that. just like a random set of things.
Just names.
And then when you've made that selection, the app that you choose, if you don't choose Safari, will replace Safari's position on your home screen.
Whoa.
That's interesting, right? Like, I mean, it kind of makes logical sense, too. It's like people have Safari because it is the web browser. If you change the web browser, you kind of swap out for whatever is going to go in its place. So I find that interesting. As well as browsers, EU users will now be able to choose default apps in the settings of their iPhone or iPad for the following categories. Apps to make phone calls, to filter call spam, messaging, navigation, password managers, keyboards, and translating text. You'll also be able to delete the App Store, messages, camera, photos, and Safari. I would love to know, these changes are rolling out over the next year or so. I think all this is fine, ultimately. What happens if you delete the App Store, though? How do you get it back?
I think that's a good question. You can't go to the App Store.
Can't go to the App Store. That's what you're going to say. The rest of them, you just go to the App Store and download them again. If you delete the App Store...
So I wonder if there's a setting somewhere
you just bring it back,
return that. Yeah, I wonder.
I feel like it's got to be for that one. The rest of them, fine. You just go to the App Store and download the camera app again. I gotta say, like, this is good. This is good. Like, everyone should be able to do this, I think. Like,
I mean, it's just setting defaults and having control over your device. It's not unreasonable.
No. I think this is good.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. Whether you're just getting started with a new home for yourself or you're managing a growing brand, you can stand out from the crowd with a beautiful website, engage directly with your audience, and sell your products or services or even the content that you create, because Squarespace has everything you need all in one place, all on your terms. If you're starting with a brand new website and you want to get up and running quickly, you can use Squarespace's new personalized guided design system, Squarespace Blueprint. You choose from a professionally curated layout with styling options that are built in to build a unique online presence from the ground up that will be tailored to your brand or business and optimized for every device. Once you launch your website, which is super simple to do, you can also get discovered fast with integrated optimized SEO tools. So you'll be showing up in searches more often to more people, growing your business and your brand the way that you want to. Squarespace has tons of tools to let you sell physical goods and digital goods. They have all the integrations you could wish for and make that incredibly easy. They've been doing this for years. But they also have the ability to sell content. So if you want to sell exclusive content on your website by adding a paywall to content or courses, you can do that. You can even sell files that your customers can download, PDFs, music, ebooks. It's all simple to do, and they make it incredibly easy for you to make that payment processes with your customers a snap. You can make the checkout seamless with simple but powerful payment tools. You can accept credit cards, PayPal, and Apple Pay. And in eligible countries, you can offer customers the option to buy now and pay later with Afterpay and ClearPay. I want you to go and check this out for yourself. Go to squarespace.com and sign up for a free trial. In that free trial, you build your website. You can see how easy Squarespace's tools are. You can get everything set up the exact way that you want. Then when you're ready to launch it to the world, go to squarespace.com/upgrade. You'll save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That is squarespace.com/upgrade when you decide to sign up, and you will get 10% off your first purchase and show your support for the show. A thanks to Squarespace for their support of this show and all of Relay FM. Jason, tell us what we're doing today on Upgrade for our Summer of Fun topic.
It is a thing that I've thought of for a while now that I thought we would finally do, which is a fun thing. Just a fun thing. We're trying.
A Summer of Fun thing.
Summer of Fun things. And it's an icon tier list. That's what it is. It's Apple's app icons as a tier list.
Mm-hmm.
All of Apple's app icons.
We're gonna do it.
Where do they belong?
Yep. In case you don't know what tier list is, it's like a ranking system. There are 6 categories. It starts at S rank, S, A, B, C, D, F. That is kind of the standard system. We're going to put a link in the show notes to an image of all of our rankings completed. So don't click that image for spoiler reasons, I guess. And we've mentioned that we do video version of the show. There will be in the video version on YouTube for this show, which you can go and watch after the fact. You could just switch over right now if you want to do that. There will be a live video of us doing the ranking. So Jason's operating a tier list, and we're going to put them in that ranking so you can see exactly where they are and where we put them. But of course, as important around here, these parts, we were going to do our very best to describe these icons to you if you don't know what they look like.
Because we're going to judge them. That's what we're doing, is we're judging icons.
Exactly.
And deciding how we feel about them.
I love it.
All right, should we get started?
Let's get started. What do you got for me?
First up is Test Flight.
Okay.
It's a propeller that looks kind of like a propeller, right?
Yeah, it's a propeller because you're flying. This is also interesting because the original Test Flight icon was an actual propeller because it was a company. Do you remember that? Like Test Flight was its own thing and Apple bought it. And then Apple maintained that branding, but they actually made the little blades on the propeller app icons that are at like a weird angle. So I like the symbolism of this one.
It's also a developer tool, so it's got the blueprint style that's also present on
clever.
Xcode, for example.
Now, we should state that we need to agree to this. This is not like a individual tier list thing.
No. We have to agree about where we put them. But test flight. So you're taking a test flight with an airplane. Therefore,
I want to think of some like this is gonna adapt as we go through, but maybe some rules here, like some guidance points, right? So like for me, metaphor, you get like a bonus for metaphor, right? I like that. But I wonder, like single color, like this is just blue, right? Blue and white. That to me, I feel like you could do more, but then the metaphor of the blueprint though, right? So I think we go back to metaphor again. Ooh, the first one's hard. The first one's the hardest. Where are you? Are you leaning anywhere right now, category wise for Test Flight?
Test Flight. I'm gonna say. I don't know. I mean, we got to start somewhere.
We got to start somewhere.
I think it's okay. I think it's not colorful, but that's fitting with their color scheme, and I like the concept of the airplane propellers and all that. I'd say, I don't know, B.
I was leaning B. Is this what it's like? Is it S? No. Is it A? No. And I was like, is it C? It's also not C. Like, I feel like it's more than a C. So let's say B rank for Test Flight.
All right.
Awesome. Congratulations, Test Flight. You did it.
Good job for us.
What's next?
Next up, podcasts.
Oh, podcast. Oh, podcast.
It's purple. There's a little person, and the person is radiating waves of sound.
This icon has been around since the beginning, right? Like this has been what podcasts has looked like, kind of since the beginning.
Mm-hmm. The reel-to-reel tape days.
Well, I mean, since the beginning of podcasting. Oh yeah, which was the reel-to-reel. I thought you were making a joke. No, but that was when the podcast app had a reel-to-reel tape in it. But I mean, like from the original iTunes on the Mac, I think it looked like that. I think this was kind of the iconography that Apple gave.
A little person shape. Or somebody's saying, is it a person or a microphone?
No, it's a person. It's a person. It's definitely a person.
That's a little person.
That's
like
a person.
Who would tell you where to go to the bathroom? It's a person.
I gotta tell you, I've never liked this. I'd never liked the icon, like just like the general iconography that Apple's created for podcasting.
I agree.
I don't like it. It's not
it literally could be this person smells.
Yeah,
right?
but it's also
because it's just
like,
waves emanating from a.
This isn't how podcasts work, right? You like they don't transmit from a person. It's not like how they work.
That's how my podcasts work. I don't know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm.
D.
Wow, D. Well, I've labeled our tiers in the Apple rainbow colors, so D is the purple tier, so that's
kind of
appropriate for me. There it is, it's done.
So does that mean Test Flight needs to be an F now because you labeled the F?
No, we're not color coding them.
Okay.
I'm just saying it feels like an appropriate place for podcasts.
This is so good, Tony in Discord. Social distancing the app. It kind of is. It kind of is.
It kind of is.
Stay away from me. Here's my bubble. Don't come near me.
It kind of is. Okay, next up is Stocks.
Ugh.
This is it's one of my favorite apps. You know, I love that everybody gets a Stocks app to watch their stocks.
All right, so here's my next question. Can my feelings of the application influence my feelings of the icon?
I think they will, but maybe they shouldn't as much as you can help them. But yes, I don't like this app. I don't like that Apple thinks it's a standard thing. I don't like that Apple encourages people to think short term about stock prices, which is not a healthy way to do investing. Yeah. And this app is not colorful. The icon, it shows a chart. I mean, I guess I like charts. I will point out that it's very similar to Activity Monitor, which is a totally different use case
we're gonna get
with a totally different metaphor, and yet they look shockingly similar.
Okay, I'm looking at because the way that the tier list works, you have like all of the app icons at the bottom, right?
Yeah.
And so like I can see everything we're going to talk about, and like there are a bunch where it's like, wow, those are shockingly similar, but yet unrelated looking applications. It's not an F.
No,
because it's not ugly. I feel like
no,
and like
and to their credit, as been pointed out in our Discord, they don't show it like a stock going up or a stock going down. It's just kind of like kicking around.
I mean, I think I would probably go with C. I like it more than podcast because at least it's doing something.
Yeah,
you know,
it feels real generic to me, so I think C is pretty good.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good way to think about it, right? Like it's just like it is average. I like the blue that they chose. I like that there's a little bit of detail going on, and it also kind of shows what the application is, where a lot of these icons don't do that at all.
It does.
Like podcasts. Right? Come back to podcasts. It doesn't.
Yeah. Next up is Watch, which shows a profile of an Apple Watch with a band.
I love this icon.
A.
Yes.
Interesting.
I love this icon.
Does what it says on the tin, for sure.
Absolutely. And icons are iconic. This is the iconic view of an Apple Watch.
My negative about the Apple Watch app icon is it's a lot of empty space, right? Because it's the Apple Watch seen in profile with a band on it, and so there's a big hole in the middle. Sure. However, they're trying to get across the app shape, a circular app inside the round rect that so many icons have. That's what they're also going for there. So I'll go along with you. I'll go along with A. I might have put it B, but I'll go with A.
I feel
That's
like
fine.
too, like, what more could you like? How else could you show the Apple Watch, right? Like, if you showed it front on, I don't think that would. It would look like a little phone. You know what I mean? Like, this is like the perfect way to show the Apple Watch, I think.
Screen within a screen.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird.
It's
right?
like, what's on the screen? Like, I tell you what, the only way that can make this an S rank is if the app icon was my actual watch face. They changed it. Now that would be something else.
Yeah. Well, and they changed the icon based on what model watch you have.
Oh, that would also be good. Yeah, because like, look,
be nice.
That's not the Ultra. You know, like that thing is
exactly.
not the Ultra.
It's not. It's not.
But I like it.
Right,
I like that one a lot.
Let's move on to weather. Little cloud, little blue sky going in a gradient. There's a little cloud, little translucent cloud with the sun.
I don't know if I've ever
through.
noticed before until looking at it here that the cloud is translucent with the sun poking in. I don't know if I'd noticed that before. I mean, I don't use the weather app, right? I use Carrot. It's like I don't get to see this icon a lot. I mean, it's cute. Right.
I think it's really good. I think that this says weather. I think it's cute, and I think that it's pretty.
Yeah.
And I think it gets across exactly what the app is, which is it cloudy, partly cloudy, sunny. I think it's really nice.
It sounds like we're going somewhere. Weather. It sounds like we're going somewhere.
I don't know. I mean, I feel more positive about it. I mean, I also use third-party weather apps, but like as an icon to say this app shows you the weather, I think it's really good.
Is it an S though?
I don't know. What do you think? I think it's the best one of the 5 we've seen so far.
I would be. Here's what I'll say. Let's give ourselves the opportunity at the very end, if we want to reshuffle any.
Okay, that's fair. That's fine.
Then I would say this is an S. This is an S.
Okay.
For these reasons, like, it is not dramatic, right? But like, it is as good a job, I think, as you could do to show a weather app. And they also take it a step further. Like, that cloud does not need to be translucent, and it would get the job done. But like, they've gone a little bit extra on it, and I like that. And also the gradient of the blue is real good.
It's real pretty. Yeah.
It's a great icon.
Good icon. Okay, voice memos. Everybody's favorite. Voice memos next. It's a waveform with like a playhead in it, and it's like colored on one side and white on the other side on black background, like so many utilities are.
Is this actually how the app works? Like, is it red and white on either sides of the playhead?
I think the color scheme is. I think the color scheme matches, but it's not how the app works.
I need to go to voice memos and see.
Okay, yeah, you check it out.
This is going to be important to my ranking.
You refer back. All right. Voice memos.
There's no waveform in the app at all.
Now, when you record, does it show you a little waveform?
Oh, that's a good point. Let me record something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does, and it's red. Okay. I can see that, but like, there's no white part.
Yeah.
That's affected my ranking.
Okay. What are you thinking?
C. Here's where I started. This is very similar to stocks for me.
Yeah.
Right? But I thought if it was like a little indication of like what the app looked like in use, then I would want to bump it up one. But it's only partly that, because there was like, I thought that would be cute, right? But instead they've pushed it a little bit too far for me. Okay. So I think it bumps it down.
I would agree with you. I also don't like how generic some of Apple's app icons feel, and this one feels very generic to me. And I think it's almost too cute because regular people don't know about audio waveforms.
Yes. Also honestly,
like,
a microphone, like a little microphone, might do a better job for this, to be honest.
Yep. Okay. Calculator. Calculator.
So Zach in the Discord has provided an important piece of follow-up, which you can actually, I don't know how they did this, but got a waveform view in the voice memos app, but it's still not red, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, I just don't think. I think waveform in general is a thing that people don't care about. They just
Yeah.
want to record their audio and have.
Yeah,
their
I think
audio
C
there.
is good. I think C is good for
Yeah,
especially
I
for
think
that
so.
reason too. Calculator.
Calculator.
Now,
It's a cute little
calculator is
calculator
there
with not very many, not enough buttons to do all the numbers.
not a
but
good calculator. Yep, we can start with that. Not a good calculator. Like calculator, I think is important in its design because there are quite a few apps that are like this, which are like here's gray with a simplified thing on top. This one is.
You can tell it's a calculator.
You can tell it's a calculator, and
I don't know why it has a space bar. I guess it's got like a double wide one just for variety.
Zero, right? Like that is the zero. Yeah, the zero is double wide in the actual app itself.
Okay, and then it's got the colored buttons down the side, and then the other buttons are generic.
Yeah, so it's following like the Braun calculator that the calculator design emulates. I wanted to knock it down for the not having enough numbers, but really that's kind of silly because what are they going to do? Then you wouldn't be able to see them anymore. I think this is like I would B grade this maybe. What do you think?
I think it's an A.
Ooh, okay.
And the reason is because I think it pops a little bit, right? Which is hard to do because it's just sort of like black on the gray background, but it pops a little bit, and it's 100% clear what this is.
You know
this is
what?
not a metaphor. It's not like numbers flying through space or something. It's a calculator, and it's pretty.
Here's what I'll say: the orange puts it to A, right? Like, because I think that's a little flair. So yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah,
I'm good with that.
Calculator headed to the A tier.
Congrats, calculator.
Hey, Mike, remember when you got an envelope in the mail?
All right, F.
Well, it's time for the mail icon.
F. We need to make a statement here. F. And I'm sorry,
why?
Apple.
Tell me why.
Right? You didn't make this happen. But the fact that email is an envelope, it's just ridiculous that we do that. Like everyone does this. Every app, every email app is some piece of paper, which just doesn't make any sense.
It's like the save icon being on a floppy disk at this point.
Exactly. Honestly, I think worse even because like the floppy disk thing, that's just save, right? Envelopes still exist in the world, right? Like
yes, it's true.
And I just also as well, this is like the worst version of this icon that could be made.
Yeah. This is what I was going to say is, and Zach points out in the Discord that on the Mac it used to be a postage stamp, and here's the thing: I know that's also literal. Yeah, I know that's also literal, but it's got personality, and it's about a detail, and it's about the metaphor. Here, this is the laziest mail icon you could possibly come up with. It's the back of a folded envelope. The color of the seams or the stroke on the shape of the envelope is the blue color,
which just doesn't make any logical sense.
Background gradient that's here.
Yeah.
It is it's bad philosophically and execution wise.
Yep.
So I agree. I'm going to
You know what?
An F.
I looking at this list, we're setting a precedent. We are setting a precedent here. Just looking at some of these.
Move things around.
No, but it's fine. I actually think the precedent might be mostly okay for like some of these, especially iOS icons, like some of the iOS system apps. We'll see where we end up. But I think what really pushes this is that envelopes and email, like they should not be together. Like it's not Apple's fault.
I agree.
Maybe, or maybe it is Apple's fault. I don't know who did this first.
I feel like there's an envelope metaphor icon that would be better than this. And also, again, the example of the Mac Mail is a good one, which is a stamp with an eagle on it and stuff. It's like, I know that's kind of wild, but at the same time, it's also like so far removed that at least you're making an effort to sort of like create some sort of abstract idea. Whereas this is just, oh yeah, what if it's just a super generic envelope? Yay, that's closed.
I would say like MimeStream. MimeStream does a good job. Like it's an interesting looking thing at least.
Well,
you know?
MimeStream, so for people who don't know, MimeStream on the Mac, it has the round rect that apps are supposed to have. The round rect is an envelope. and it's got the envelope is open, so the top of it is the top of the round rect, and the bottom of it's got the little V fold, but it's open, and inside is a message, is a letter, and like it's so much better. It's so much better.
Like,
come on.
I don't like Spark's icon, but it's a paper plane. Like, that's still better. Like, a paper plane is better than an envelope.
I know. All right. Calendar.
Okay.
It's the date. Calendar is like a round rect with the date.
Calendar is a bad icon, like visually, but super useful.
Super functional. I know. Well, I think this is one of the shames of Apple and how it does icons is that I believe other apps, when they're closed, can't update their icon, but Calendar can, which really, I think that's true. I think that's still true. But I like it. I like it. I like the idea of it as being information that's helpful to you. If that makes sense.
Tell me this. The first iPhone, the calendar didn't do this, right? Like, this got added.
So.
And like, what's so incredible? Well, you know what? It may have done it, actually. Because like, I'm looking at some images now and they've got different numbers on them. So I don't know when
maybe
this
the first
icon
or first calendar or first app did that on the iPhone.
Yeah, and
on the Mac, I should say, on the Mac, it's got a red portion at the top that has the month on it.
Yeah,
and on the iPhone, it's white and it's got the day on it. But they're similar. They're in the ballpark.
I like, honestly, like maybe the only ones. I actually like the original. Looking at it, the original iPhone one was nicer than this one, where it was a big red. It was a red portion. It had the day, and then the number. Like the new one, it's a little bit bland,
a little bit washed out.
It's just like not very. It's just not for me now. It's like a little bit compared to some of Apple's other icons. I think it's lacking detail, but
I like the functionality.
The utility is really, really good, like really good.
So, B, C?
Let's do B.
Yeah,
this could so easily have been an A if it just had a visual flair of some kind. Like, of any kind.
A little bit of flair.
Yeah.
Yes, any kind of flair.
Like, I really am not an iOS 6 icon person. Like, I know that these people exist. They want that style back, and I don't, because everything looks dark and gross and muddy. But this is one where I'm like, I think they lost something by losing the color.
I don't need to see the ripped top of the page.
No.
And I don't need to see the stitching on the leather binding.
No.
But having it just be a white background, at least on the Mac, it's not. It's just too plain.
You're totally right. The Mac one, I would give that an A. But we're judging.
Well, and we can. I sort of picked haphazardly from iOS and Mac, so I think it's A or B. I think it's one of those.
No, let's do B because, it should be the same everywhere.
Yeah, B stands for Be Better on iOS.
Yeah.
Okay, contacts. This is an icon that exists. It is gray with a person circle in it, circle with their head and the top of their weird oval body, floating. And then on the side they're like little tabs because it's like an address book kind of thing where the tabs are references and the tabs are colorful.
Why don't people have necks?
Because their heads float magically above their bodies in the generic. It's just like, the
Whenever
symbols for
Apple
bathrooms and stuff. They're trying to make it iconic.
Depicts a human, of which there are multiple. They never have a neck. Why is that?
Because they don't on like bathroom signs and stuff. The generic kind of like human body that you see on like crosswalks and bathroom signs and all that. They all are kind of like the neck is hard to draw and makes it a little less clean, so they don't.
Interesting.
They don't, but it's an interesting idea. Good question. Good question, Mike.
Thank you.
Why don't people
I just got
have
the
necks?
questions.
I'm just asking questions here. What do you think about contacts?
I like the color in the little like thumb tabs. On the side. I like that they did that.
It's the best thing about it.
That's a nice touch to it. And I would say for representing, so like what this is representing is like your address book, right? And
yes.
I do
it's
think
a boring app.
of the kind of representations kind of thing. I think this does a good job of it. Like, it's not going too far, but also the idea of having contacts is such an old thing anyway. Like, it's like such a weird thing that I'm actually ever making the choice to save my contacts. And so, but I think that the imagery of this is good enough, especially because the app itself, while it doesn't have like the colored tabs, it is still kind of organized in the alphabetized way on the right hand side, right? Like,
Sure.
you're still kind of, so it is evoking that.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm leaning towards B because I really like the colors that they chose.
I agree with you. This is a boring icon for a boring app, which is fine. And then they put a little flair in the colors, and that for me is enough to elevate it above C to B.
Because they could have just made this just a gray round wreck with the person in the middle.
They could have, and they added a little flair.
They did
something.
Flair. They did something.
We should be clear, we're also just doing the light mode and mostly iOS with some Mac apps at the end. So there are variations. We're not going to talk about them.
Yeah, if
That's
you
a
want to
future
see the
follow-up
exact ones we are, like, that will be in the screenshot that we put in the notes and also the
in the
video
show
version.
notes. Yeah. Okay. FaceTime.
So this is the precedent I was talking about.
Oh, yeah.
FaceTime is
it's
just
a-
what?
it's-
An old school
It's like an
film
old
camera?
movie camera or camcorder with a big old lens and then a rectangle, and it's sitting inside a big green gradient round rect, and that's FaceTime.
So let's think about this for a second, right?
Okay. All right.
How else would you do this? What else could you do?
It depends. I mean, it depends on the era, but you could show a face.
With another face in the corner, right? Like, you could maybe depict
smiling.
it. But like, you could just have like a body and then another smaller body in a box, right? Like, it could just look like a FaceTime call, right? Like, and I know that makes it sound like it's quite some small detail, but there's lots of small details. Look at the calculator, right? It's the tiny little buttons. Yeah, this is silly, really. Like, this one might be worse than Mail in its own ways.
So I think we're in the interest of expediency, I'm going to move us along and just say, I agree. I think this is a failure. I think it's one of Apple's older icons, and they've done a bad job letting it sit there the way it is. And I think they probably think, well, it's for continuity reasons. We got to keep it that way. And I say no. I think I do think, just like the envelope, the movie camera representing video as a thing is a mistake. I think you need to not do it that way. And so, fail. See me after class.
Can I make a suggestion at this point?
Yes.
Shall we lightning round the similar ones?
We can if you. Let's do. We're gonna go on a little green binge here, everybody.
Yeah.
I think that's what you mean, and if you don't mean it, well, this is what we're doing anyway. Messages.
F. Because like, iMessage is blue.
Well, that's 100%. Yeah, but SMS. I mean, will they get in trouble with a regulator for having RCS green not be represented properly in the icon? Should it be the color of the message you received most recently?
It's also not even the shape of the bubbles. I don't like this one. I think it's an F.
Okay, I'll go with you. I might be persuaded to D.
Okay,
but I see what you're saying.
Because so next up, should we say phone?
Yeah.
Right. I would
pasting it in.
I would put phone in D.
I agree. It's okay. I have a few thoughts here, and I know that it's hard. And I know a lot of people don't use their phone as a phone. And maybe the people who use their phone as a phone and use the phone app think of phones and think of a phone that looks like a phone from the 80s without the cord. Or a cordless phone, but the cordless phones often had like a little antenna at the top, and it's not that either. And I think a lot of people would look at this and go, I don't know what this is. Is this a C? Is it like a little man laying back on what is it? It's a telephone handset from the before times. And I don't know. I get why they're doing it, and I'm not sure what's better here. Well, but it also feels really wrong.
Here's what I like about this icon and why I actually think that it works better than some of the other ones. And I may even be talking myself up from D. They use that icon to mean answer this call. It's the same icon, and it's green.
That's true.
Right? So, like,
that's true.
You don't need to know what a phone is, but you're like, oh, that's the answer the call
That's the
icon.
pickup. Right.
Where, like,
you could argue
mail
that they
and
need
FaceTime
to
and messages don't look like in the applications the things that they put on the icons.
Yeah, what I would say is they may need to uncouple this metaphor because it is rapidly becoming floppy disk, right?
Sure.
People understand what floppy disk is, but they don't know what it means, but not what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at this and I think, I get why it's the way it is, which is why I don't think it's an F. But I think to myself, one, it gets dragged down by being part of Apple's generic green icon group.
Mm-hmm.
And two, it is, when you start to think about it, it's like, it doesn't express anything about how that app is used today in terms of being a communication app over the phone system to make a voice call.
Mm-hmm.
And, maybe I'm willing to hear that the best they can do is this, and that's fine, but I don't think that makes it any better than a D or maybe a C. Just because this is the best it can be, I don't think that makes it good enough. Also, several people in the Discord have mentioned there could be some whimsy here. You could make it more like a toy phone or something. And instead it's this super simplified, streamlined. I don't know. I think that the problem is nobody under a certain age knows what a telephone is anymore. You can make it a phone booth.
That's why I like that at least this icon is represented inside of the phone app.
I know the calculator might cause some confusion here, but even having it be like a dial pad with kind of that kind of thing might be a better metaphor here than the phone. Right? That you're dialing a phone number kind of thing?
Yeah, that could.
It's old school, but...
Like if it looked like the UI of making a phone call. I would say D. I think it's better than the other ones of which it is in the group with, which is mail, FaceTime, and messages.
Are there others you want to clean up here, or were those the ones you were thinking of?
Those were the ones.
Yeah,
like,
the
they're
greens.
And also, but they were like, that goes with mail. It's like the system basic things where they just have the most basic
the greenies.
Icons. Yeah.
It's those greenies. They like that. All right, music. Red music. Remember when they changed the music app icon a few times? Made it white. They've done this. Music app has gone some places.
The one that was white with the colored music note, that was better looking than the pink with the white music note.
So Apple suffers here from a decision that they made, which is every app should really basically just sit on a round rect and have a thing inside of it. And so here it is. It's a musical note. And I know it's iTunes and Apple Music branding and all of that. And I think it does the job in terms of being recognition. But can I just say, as somebody who took piano lessons for many years, I don't really like the musical note as a way to play your popular music. I don't love it as a metaphor, honestly. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they could have given, like, what? Why did they not try and give this a visual brand of its own?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, this is...
Right? Like,
this is
they had to steal it from GarageBand, but what if it was like an Apple logo and like a guitar or something? To be like, we're playing your music here, man. Instead, it's like, no, it's a couple of eighth notes. Yay.
Yeah, I mean... D, because I at least like the color.
Yeah, sure,
but it's not the best. Yeah, it's not the best.
All right, you stop me when we need to take a commercial break.
Don't you worry.
Okay, Apple TV. It's a round rect, but you see, the Apple TV is itself a round rect, and then on the top of it, there is an Apple logo and the letters TV saying Apple TV, saying this is literally, you don't even need to look below me to see what my icon is. You know who I am because my icon just says what I am.
Jason, this was going to be an F, but you just bumped it up for me.
Well, this is the thing. I think on one level it's entirely uninspiring. On another level, though, it matches the hardware that they sell, which is unnecessary, and that it's very clear what it is because they literally put the label in the icon, which is cheating and yet also clear.
C?
C or D? I think C. I think for functionality, I'm going to put it at C, and I know people are going to be mad. I think as a work of art, it's terrible. But as a functional piece of information design, I think it's actually very good. So
I like that it's fun because it looks like how the Apple TV used to look, and it is like a little back Apple TV. Like I like it. It's like a little Apple
it still
TV.
looks like that, right? From the top, that's what it looks like. It's that shape. It's literally the shape of the Apple TV hardware. And I know the TV app isn't necessarily tied to the TV hardware, but it's like a little thing, a little gift.
I don't know if it still has TV on it.
Oh, no. That's just the label
though.
for Icon users. Yeah.
It used to. It used to be. It used to look just like this. The third generation Apple TV, it wasn't white, but it had this exact logo on it, and that I like it more for that reason.
All right. This is going to be controversial, I predict. News. I don't know what you're going to say about this icon, Mike. We haven't practiced. We haven't done anything in advance. Here's what I'm going to say about the Apple News icon. It's a piece of garbage. It is. It's like a couple of wavy lines. It's diagonal lines. I know they're trying to get the shape of an N, but it's just like lines in a box inside a box. And then you look at it and you're like, are you getting it yet? It's like an N, but it's lines in a box inside another box. First off, why is it not the whole box? Why is it on a box itself? And then second, this doesn't mean news. The most important thing about Apple News is that it starts with the letter N. Is that what you're saying here? Is that what this is? Diagonal lines going from top to bottom. What says keep up with what the events that are happening in the mass of humanity that lives on planet Earth? Then diagonal lines going from top to bottom, left to right. Yay, it's Apple News. It doesn't help that I don't really like the Apple News app or the News Plus service, but I think this is as F tier as an icon gets. What do you think?
I love your passion. Yeah.
I'm bringing the passion today.
Well, so here's what I like about the news icon that compared to music is they actually tried to brand it, right?
Yes.
They tried to come up with this is the logo for this service, and they did something original. Where that's what I don't like about music is you look at Spotify, they made an icon, right? They made something. This is their brand. They made a thing. And Apple Music, it's just a music note, which for me is not enough. Where podcasts, even though I don't like what they did, they at least tried. And same here with news. This
is a liability that Apple has with all of its products, which is all of its products now are Apple followed by a generic term.
Yeah.
Which means they can't really brand them as something. If Apple Music was called, DJ Beatmeister, they'd be like, oh, I got a vibe for DJ Beatmeister. We can make an icon for that. But it's just music, right? Whereas Spotify is, I don't know, spots.
In high fidelity?
Hi-fi spots, yeah.
So what I think they need to do is what they've done with some of the other ones, like stocks, where it's if it's just called the thing, then do a fun version of the thing, right? So they didn't do that with Apple News, which they could have done. There was maybe a version of this icon, honestly, which was just a newspaper. This should be a newspaper. This should look like what newsstand look like, right? This icon should be a newspaper.
Something. It looks like a street sign. It looks like, hey, you can cross the street here.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's the street and then there's the arrows that say you can cross either way here.
When I look at it, I'm there must be a metaphor that I'm missing. That's what I look at when I look at this. But I don't think there is. I'm happy with F tier for this.
F tier.
It's
it goes. In the bin.
Barbershop
Hop
is
in.
what it looks like more than anything else.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, it's a candy cane.
Yeah.
Something like that. Home.
All right. Now,
it's a house with a bunch of little house gradients inside it.
I love this one.
Mm-hmm.
This is exactly what I'm talking about, right? What can you do for home? Well, really, there's not. You kind of have to. It has to look a certain way, right? You can't do a ton with it. It's a home,
right?
But they branded it. I feel like they created an icon which shows you what it is, but it has flair and also has a look to it, which is that kind of looks like the home is radiating. It's doing something. Like maybe there are waves of Wi-Fi inside of the house. I don't know. But I really like the home icon.
I think it's okay. I feel like this is one of those examples where when we talked about MimeStream earlier, where Apple's insistence on everything just being a slab laid down on a round rect hurts them. Because I wonder if there's a better version of the home icon where the round rect is integrated into the home somehow, right? Like the home is itself a round rect, but the way they built it, you can't make like a full round rect with like a little chimney poking out the top of it because you're going to run out of space. I'm not quite sure how they would do it, but like I feel like there is a little more whimsical, a little less generic version of this icon that could exist, and it doesn't. And I do wonder if there are other metaphors that might have worked here for especially smart home stuff, like, I don't know, like a light switch or something, but it gets it across clearly. And it's not without style. Again, I just feel like they're probably leaving something on the table by having it just be sitting generically inside the round rect. I'm not a fan of that. I wish there was something that, even if it was like the round rect was the driveway and the lawn and the sky or something,
right? That they
which would
it.
hurt its contrast. But I don't know. Just on the white background, it really is not that exciting. But it's okay. A, B, A?
I think B is a better fit between the two of us.
Okay. We'll put it in B. That seems fair.
Give me one more for now.
Oh, boy. Well, we're going to go with what I think is a good one to take us into the break. Maps.
S.
Oh, Mike, I love to disagree with you here, but I can't. This is an S-tier app icon.
Yeah.
It's been an S-tier app icon for a while, especially the fact that when you looked at it, you realized they were showing you infinite loop and the 280 freeway, and now they've simplified it. But if you look at it, it is Apple Park up in the upper right-hand corner, and it's got the blue, the dot with the arrow showing you navigation, and you're on a road, and the blue on the road shows that you're navigating up there, and then you're going over what is the freeway underneath of it and coming back from the backside there. Like, it is colorful, it is informational, it says maps, and it's got an Easter egg inside it. I think it's the best.
Yeah. Pink and yellow, why is it there? Don't know, but I love it, right? Like, yes, like if you're going to do it, do it, right? And yes, the fact that it perfectly shows what the app is and includes an unnecessary piece of whimsy, can't beat that. Right? Like that's it.
Exactly.
For me. This is top
I think
tier.
that's what we're going for here. Yeah. I think I think that this is kind of a paragon of app design for me. I think when the more you think about it, the better it gets.
Yep. This episode is brought to you by Vitally. Vitally is bringing in a new era for customer service productivity with their all-in-one platform. Vitaly's collaborative workspace combines your customer data with all the capabilities you expect from today's project management and work platforms. With Vitally, you can measure the effectiveness of OKRs and operational strategies on customer outcomes at scale thanks to their Goals feature. Goals allows you to track the progress of your accounts against target metrics, meaning you can standardize goal setting across the board so you know exactly how effective your processes truly are. And best of all, Vitally is designed for today's customer success team. That's why it operates with unparalleled efficiency, improves net revenue retention, and delivers best-in-class customer experiences. Vitally is offering a free pair of AirPods Pro for every upgrade listener who books a qualified meeting. So if you are a customer success decision maker, schedule your call today by visiting vitally.io/upgrade. That's vitally.io/upgrade, vitally.io/upgrade for a free pair of AirPods Pro when you schedule a qualified meeting. Our thanks to Vitally for their support of this show and Relay. What you got for me next?
Okay. Let's do shortcuts.
Okay.
This is it's two squares, round rects on their side, kind of vibing with each other, melding with each other. It's two, and then So it's like a stack of little things that are kind of connected. I think the opacity suggests that, and it's making a stylized S for shortcuts on a dark background.
This is high up there for me, this one.
I think it's good. I think it's trying to do an abstract concept in a clever way, I think is what it's
And
doing
it's
here.
an S, right?
And it's an S. That's right.
This isn't it. This is S. This is S. S for S.
Oh, S for S.
The more I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, someone really had a good cup of coffee that day. Because, like, it is two app icons. They're transferring between each other, which is what Shortcuts does.
Yes.
And it's in the style of a letter S. I mean, come on.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I think I agree with you. I would put it A or S. I think
Look at that.
we'll
Two
just,
S tier in a
be
row. Are you going to follow it up with a third S tier, Jason?
No, but I'm going to go related to Shortcuts, which is Automator.
F. F. This thing is so gross. Look at it. Why is he holding a tube? Why has he got a blue eye? One blue eye? Like, no, I hate it. F tier. The Automator, I don't care.
Oh.
This thing is scary. It's a little robot. Think of it in today. Like today. We're grading this today, right? You want to think about this little humanoid robot all up inside your computer connecting pipes together?
I
With his little claw hands?
Connecting pipes together. That's what Automator does. Connects pipes together.
I don't like it.
I also like that they put him. They were forced to put him on a round rect, and they didn't put him on a generic round rect because, of course, there's some perspective in that icon. So they have him on like a little stand, little circular rippling out kind of stand with a gradient that I think was a really nice touch for a product that was basically so old that it didn't need any kind of update. But somebody made them put him on a round rect, and this is what they've got.
And he's busting out with his pipe.
Otto the Automator is, I think, adorable. I think whimsical. I think is of a time. I will grant you, but I like the effort they've made to make it more modern. I can't give this an F tier.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest.
I can't do it.
I don't really think it's an F tier. I just thought it would be funny, but it's low though. I don't like it. Like. I would.
Well, what I like about it again is that Apple made a mascot for one of its features of its OS, which is a robot that helps you.
And how did they treat
that?
him? You know.
Well, he's still kicking. He's still out there.
And that's scary.
I used a thing in Automator today, but I didn't see the icon.
It's disconcerting that he's still running. You know?
Yeah, I mean, he's so of another time. When I put him in our little lineup here, he's going to look completely different from everything else because he's so skeuomorphic. But I still kind of love him. We're going to make him a D. His time has passed.
Yeah, little guy.
Does that work for you?
Yeah, I mean, he's even got like an aqua eyeball, right? It's even got the shine on it. It's like, oh god.
Yeah, he does.
Come on. I know I just upset a bunch of Stevens in the world, but.
I know. It's true. Okay. Wallet.
A.
Okay. So this is a little wallet with a bunch of cards, more cards than fit in Apple's iPhone wallet, by the way, sitting on a black background. And the colors are different colors, which is nice.
Yeah.
It's, they've got it. They're not in the Apple rainbow sequence, but they're still really nice.
Let me tell you what would take this from an A to an S. You're going to love this.
Mm-hmm.
The whole icon is a wallet.
Yeah, see?
Right?
That's it.
Yes.
Right? Instead of it being just on a plinth.
Used to look like. I think that's what Passbook used to look like.
Yeah, I think in general, I mean, this is just me getting my grievances out about Apple forcing everything onto a round rect platter without using it properly a lot of the time. So I agree with you. I think it's an A.
I just found an icon, like a Passbook icon. I don't know if it ended up being the one that Apple shipped, but it's like a little leather wallet. The whole thing is a square, and it's got like 3 little tickets inside of it. And it's like, that's what I want this thing to look like. Something, but like what I want is this whole thing to be a wallet, and like it just expand this out. Like it just expand
the round rect is the wallet.
Yeah, but I like
the
this
cards
one.
are slid into it.
Again, like I'm realizing, I really like when they put a bunch of color into icons that like. It's not necessarily would need to go this vibrant or whatever with them, and I think that tends to look really good.
if you like color, I got an icon for you, Mike. Photos.
Let me tell you what I like about photos.
Okay.
Right? They
All
did
right.
the thing where they just created a brand.
Yeah.
And it's a flower. Right?
Yeah.
People take photos of flowers. It's also, I think, it's reminiscent of something in photography, but I don't know what, like a kind of color chart.
Well, yeah, you're
thing.
summing up the different colors, and it's also got all 8 colors of the rainbow.
Yeah.
I guess they decided to go with that. So what I like about it is that it's a brand.
Yeah.
And what I like about it is that it shows all those colors, which is fun. What I don't like about it is it doesn't say photography to me at all.
But that's a problem.
And this is
though,
where
right?
my photos and videos is in this app, which is just a rainbow flower.
Okay, so let me ask you. This is the issue that they have, right? How do you show photography?
Mm-hmm. How about a movie camera?
Yeah,
No.
right. This is they already have a camera,
know.
right? And so
I know.
I like it. I would A rank this. I think that this is as for icons that are abstract, this is a good looking one. And the fact that it looks so good means it just becomes the thing and you're like good with it. So like I really like this one a lot.
I'm torn because although I think it's actually a nice icon, I don't like the fact that it doesn't say photography to me. I mean, it's like light, and so it's saying like light, right? That's
but who
what
thinks
it's
of
saying.
that? Like who thinks of
Light,
that really?
And then, but that's that. Well, this is my point. What takes this away from being a better icon for me is that the metaphor is a bit of a stretch, even if it's a nice icon. Like this could have been an icon for like a scanner that finds the right color of an object, right? It would still be this icon. It doesn't say photography to me at all. And I don't know how you would do that without going it and having it be like a lens or the camera bump on the back of an iPhone or something, which would be the camera. It should be a camera app, right? It shouldn't be this app. Can I say B?
Yeah, let's say B. I think these are all fair things that you're saying. These are all fair.
All right. Well, since we're doing that, let's do the camera app. It's a point and shoot camera from the before time.
I like that they put the yellow on it, right? Like that
little
maybe
like
gives it a point.
Little sensor
yeah.
or indicator light. You're
It's
taking
just
about
got
to take
something.
a picture.
It's just got something
Yep.
going on.
Yeah, it's on a gray gradient, the least interesting of all gradients.
Yeah. Maybe a D. Like it's better than the mail one, right? Like it's better than like mail, FaceTime, and messages.
At this point, I'm going to say it. They have a round direct camera bump. I actually kind of like the idea of having the camera icon be the camera bump.
It 100% should be that. Yes.
Right?
Definitely. Definitely it should be that. Yeah.
Because it's not even unlike photos, which could come from anywhere. The camera app is for taking pictures on your device that has a camera bump of some sort.
Yeah, like this is the issue with phone is the phone is a phone and there is no phone on the phone. But there is a camera on the phone. You just look at the back of it. Everyone would know what that meant. Why don't they do that? They should totally do that, right?
I know.
Huh.
We're really solving a lot of problems here. Okay, here's a difficult one. Safari. Also, I'll point out in a continuing case here, this is an example of an icon that was designed before the round rect phenomenon where everything had to be on a shape, and so it's a circle on a round rect in a box. Circle in a box. It's a compass. And historically, Safari has been a compass. It was originally skeuomorphic, and now it's not. So it was originally literally a compass, and now it's sort of the face of a compass, a little more abstract. What I like about that, and the name Safari, right, is they're trying to get across exploring the web, getting things from out in the world without, how do you do that without just calling it like web browser? And so, although a compass and Safari, the connection, the word Safari is kind of tenuous, they've been doing it for a long time.
When people go on safaris, do they need compasses?
I don't know. Historically, yes.
Okay. I mean, it's particularly funny that they have a compass icon when they also have an app called Compass.
Well, yeah, there is that too. It's a challenge.
I don't like
How
the
do you do
Safari brand, which doesn't help
Mhm.
me.
Yeah, I agree. It's what we're stuck with, but
Yeah, Safari's a great name for a search engine. Like, I feel like it's a better name for a search engine. Because the metaphor is getting a bit broken, right? Because, like,
yeah,
people aren't, like, going to the web to explore when the web is everything now.
right. It's everything.
in everything.
But I feel like it's just like iMac. It's just a name. An iPhone. It's a name that can't go away.
It is just the
gonna
brand.
be with us
yeah,
forever,
you can't get
regardless.
rid of it. But I think if that's the case, like, this isn't a particularly good-looking compass,
I agree.
right? Like this.
I mean, it looks like a clock.
Yeah. Yeah, or like a temperature gauge or something. It just doesn't.
Yeah, it's just a circle with marks on it and then a needle, basically.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it.
I don't like the color. I don't like that it's on that background. Again, I feel like again, what you could do to plus this up, if you're living in a world where everything's got to be on a round rect, is make the round rect the frame of the compass.
Yeah.
And have the arrows stick out or something, or point to like have the marks be on the outside. There's a way you could do this that embraces the fact that everything is a round rect, and instead it's just lazily plopped down on the white background. And I think that is a demerit.
It's also actually a bad compass.
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't tell you where you're looking.
North. It doesn't have the cardinal directions or anything.
It doesn't have anything.
It's a D.
Is it? Yeah, D is good. D is good for this.
It's a D. All right. Compass.
See, now Compass is a better compass.
It's a pretty good compass,
than
right?
Safari's compass.
Good.
And they're doing what you wanted.
It's a round rect of the compass.
It's
the compass is the round rect.
Right? Like, they have the circle, and then the little
north,
icon is
the
popping
little
in.
red triangle pointing north coming out of the circle. Yeah.
It's a real solid C for me.
Yeah, I think that's about right. I think it lives with Apple TV.
Yeah.
In the C category.
You know what's also kind of funny about this is it also kind of says news, which is funny, Like it kind of it's maybe a better news.
It's got an N
icon.
on it, so why wouldn't it?
Well, no,
it does say news.
NEWS,
Northeast, west, south. You're right.
Depending on how you read.
we cracked the code. We cracked the code.
I read
to left, top to bottom, right to left. Yeah.
Yeah.
NEWS news. It's the secret code. Okay. Workout. This is a running person on a green circle because this is the Apple Watch version of it.
I like this.
You don't have any comments about the neck?
Well, I mean, we've already established this.
Okay.
Like, I can't
We've
talk
covered
about
it.
that.
There's no
anymore.
neck. It's a floating head.
I like
a running
this
person.
one. I like this one.
I agree.
I like that
I
the
think it's a good
person's in
icon.
action, and I really like the green that they've chosen. Like, it's a very vibrant green. I'd say it's a... Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I was going to say B, but I'd go for A.
I think it's A.
All right.
It does what it says on the tin. I like that about it.
Yeah.
Health.
Okay.
It's a white round rect with a heart in the upper right corner. Because it loves you.
I like this a lot.
Okay.
I like it a lot because they put the heart where the heart goes.
Uh-huh.
That's what I like about this. Right?
All right.
The easy thing to do here was to put heart in the middle. That's the easy thing to do, right?
Uh-huh.
But I like that they put the heart where the heart on a human would be, right? Like, that's kind of where they're aiming for, and I think that's a real nice touch. I would B grade this.
Yeah, I have an instinct to say I wish it was more.
Yeah.
But I also appreciate the minimalist nature of it, and it's using the round rect by being offset in the round rect, it's actually using even though it's a white round rect, which I've just complained about, it's using it because it's using it positionally. It's actually using it to do something meaningful.
there are a lot of ways that you could do a health app and they become negative, right? Like you could show scales or graphs and then it's like not very friendly.
Right.
It's not very welcoming. And this is a very welcoming app icon. So I like it for that.
Okay. Next up is clock. It's a clock on a round rect.
All I need to do here is work out how high. Like this is up there for me.
It's a good clock. I mean, this is one of those
clock.
areas where it's a category where you can put what it is in the icon and have it look good.
Do you know why this works, Jason? I have on my desk a version of this clock. It's based on the Braun clock, right? And it looks just like it. I will say, kind of missed the Swiss Railway clock. That is beautiful, but the Braun clock is also excellent. And it functions like you can't get any better than that. Really, I think this is S tier.
It's true. I will go with you.
This is what calendar wished it was.
Good clock.
Like this is like, right. Like calendar wished it was clock. You know.
Hey, it's a new app. It's sports. It's Apple Sports. One of the new apps.
Why do you think they chose a soccer field for? It's MLS, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. There you go. Because like it's they didn't go with any of the national pastimes, right?
You're right. It's not a basketball court. It's not a football field. It's not a baseball diamond.
Yeah.
It's a soccer pitch. But they do have the MLS deal. Also, I think that in some ways, I mean, a basketball court would also have worked, but it would have, I think, it's easier to simplify the soccer pitch, and it's a white outline of a soccer pitch on a green round rect, and the green is great, right? Because that's like the grass. It's great.
Yeah.
I don't know how good I feel about the white outline. Like, I think it's clever. I think this is very clever, and it does say sports.
The white outline works because it's painted, right?
It's that's the chalk outline. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to say. I could argue for more stuff in here, but again, I feel like I'm arguing for complication, where complication isn't necessary. This could be cuter, but it would be messier, and maybe it doesn't need to be any more complex than it is because it gets across what it is.
I'm gonna push for C because I think it perfectly shows what it is, but I actually think it is ugly. Like I don't appreciate the way that it looks, but it's doing the job perfectly to describe what it is. So I think this is very middle of the road for me.
I'll go with that. I was tempted to rate it a little higher, but I think you're right. That I think I appreciate it, but I don't like it.
Because I know what they're doing, and they've done a good thing, but like putting what looks like a squished app icon inside of an app icon, it's just like, I don't find that very appealing.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I think this is one of those cases where the round rect mandate, it makes it worse. And that if this was just a soccer field icon in green, it would be nicer.
Be wonderful. Yeah, if it could just be that shape.
Well, that's what I was thinking is you could take it out to the edges and then have like a bracket at the top and bottom that were kind of like stands, even if they were just gradients, and make it like a little stadium. But instead, it's just trapped in the green round rect, and of course, the green round rect is all the same color, and so you've lost the uniqueness of the color of the field.
Even if you just, as you say, if you just took all of the outside border and made it gray, it would elevate this.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you would look like you were looking down at a stadium.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's just a little short of it.
Yeah.
Journal. Journal is a butterfly.
Yeah.
With two pages that are different colors, and they make the form of a butterfly. And you could also argue that it's a J and a backward J if you want to do that.
Journal and Learnal, as they call it.
The journing and learning. That's what we do.
All right. So like, I really appreciate what they're going for with this one, right? The metaphor is good. That it's paper. It's also kind of a book, right? At the same time, because they're opening up. A butterfly is nice because your journal is supposed to be soft. and the colors are good, it doesn't particularly excite me as a icon, but I could put it in A, and I think I would be okay with that because I do think they're doing a decent job. I also think like the navy color that they chose for the background is also like, I think that's doing something with the round rec, right? Like it's not just, basically this feels like they got the shortcuts app icon designer to make another one.
Yes,
and they
it
came
absolutely
up with this.
feels like that.
Because they're similar, and it also, you could tell, like I can see a lot of thought in this, even though it doesn't like rev my engines. Like I do still like it.
Yeah, I don't think it's A tier, mostly because it doesn't say journal to me. It's a nice icon, and it's a butterfly, and it's colorful, and I like everything about it visually. And it has never said journal to me.
But
so
what would
B?
though? What would say journal?
I don't know. A pen, ink
like,
on a page.
But then we're bringing in the issue we have with like the old school.
Yeah, I know. It's skeuomorphism for things that aren't what people do anymore.
Yeah.
No, I get it. It doesn't necessarily. It's really nice, but I feel like it's missing something to make me latch onto it that just isn't there.
I can do B. I'm good with B.
So I would say B. Okay, we'll say B. All right. What is next? Let's do. Well, this will be a quickie because I just want to get it in here. Apple Music Classical, which is the music app, but with a treble clef instead of a note.
So here's what I'll say. If we were ranking them, what we're not doing is like ranking these against each other with inside of the tiers. But if we were, I would put this higher than the Apple Music icon.
I agree.
But still D.
I agree. Yeah, I agree 100%.
I would feel better if this was the icon for Apple Music, honestly. Like, if this was just Apple Music, I would feel better. But it might be a bit too much. But I think that they did a decent job of, like, it's got to be close. It's got to match music. And I think for classical, it's kind of the treble clef is kind of perfect, right?
Yeah. No, I think that's good. I think that's good. Next up is Freeform, or as we knew it back when I was a kid, the Jazz paper cup design.
Yeah, I love it for that, by the way. So it's a circle with a square on top with a little squiggly line across it, and it looks like Jazz.
Mm-hmm.
I really like this icon. I think it does a very good job of showing what the app is.
Mm-hmm.
It is not blowing my mind, but I really like it.
Yeah, I agree. It does show what the app is. I love that it's referencing the Jazz paper cup design from the 80s, which we none of us knew what it was called, but that's what it was called. I think I can appreciate that Apple's current icon style is never going to allow something more detailed than this, even though it would be funnier if it was even more jazzy.
Yeah. I'm going to put a link in the show notes, by the way, to episode 188 of Ungenius, where me and Steven talk about jazz design.
About jazz?
Where it comes from, what
cup.
it is. That kind of thing.
So I feel about the Freeform icon like, again, do I look at it and say, aha, that's Freeform? Like, no, I got to think about it a little bit, but I think it's fundamentally, and I don't think it's a beautiful icon, but I think it does the job. I guess that's what I'd say. I feel like it's the flip side of the journal icon, where I think the journal icon is beautiful and doesn't do the job as well as I wish it did. I think the Freeform icon is less beautiful, but absolutely does the job.
I think it's still B, though.
Yeah, I
think
agree.
if I look at the other stuff we have in B, like that kind of fits the bill of health and home and photos and contacts, right? Like these are good looking and they do the job, but they're not like this big high concept thing or just like something that is just very iconic in its design, right? Like in A at the moment, we have watch, calculator, wallet, and fitness, and they are all very iconic designs, I think. Like they're just like, these are perfectly showing the thing.
Okay. Find My, which is a gray round rect with a green circle like a radar ping from like a submarine or something. Green concentric circles and then a blue dot in the center and then like a line extending from it like it's looking in that direction like it's the radar is going to swoop around kind of thing.
I really like this one.
I'm sounding like a broken record, which is a thing people don't know either. It's an old metaphor, skeuomorphism in speech. But I like it too. I think that it is not helped at all by being on a gray round rect. Again, I just think it's not helped. But for what it is, and the metaphor that it's trying to get across in a way that how else would you describe Find My, which is itself, unlike an Apple Watch, isn't it like 4 different apps? I mean, it is as a unified app. How do you explain it? I think this is cute and does a good job.
Where would you want it to go?
A?
I was leaning A, but I wasn't sure if you was. But yes, I think that what I just said about like it is iconically the thing, I think this is iconically what it is. Like it's even like showing the UI of the app in the icon. Like I think it's great. I think it's really, really great. Yeah, A tier.
All right. Settings. Gears. Metallic gears on a metallic background.
F.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Don't like the metaphor? Don't like the look?
What are the gears for?
Well,
I don't like the metaphor, and I don't like the
It's
look.
the internal workings of your device that get affected by the gears.
Okay. Why isn't it like actually what it? Why is this not like a computer chip then?
Because it's a metaphor.
Well, that would also be a metaphor, right? Because you're not actually changing like the silicon.
Yeah.
I don't like the gears. Here's what I say. Like there are lots of examples of this in history for Apple, right? They've had the gears for a long time. I've seen the gears done significantly better than this. I don't because like the thing about gears, the thing that is fun about gears is seeing them interact with each other. These gears are just overlapping with each other.
Right.
They're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Like, what are these gears operating at all? How are these gears moving? I don't like it.
Okay. I think it's functional, so I would give it a D.
I'm totally happy with D.
But I think it's functional, but that's about all.
This episode is brought to you by Ladder. Let's be real. We all have a tendency to put some things off until the last minute, whether it's going to the DMV, arranging a dental checkup, or getting to that home improvement project. You know the things I'm talking about. We all have them. I mean, for me, I have a list in reminders forever long, and things just get like, I'll do that next week. I'll do that next week. Most of the time, it works out fine. But there is something in life that you cannot wait to afford on, and that is setting up term coverage life insurance. You will have seen life insurance commercials on TV and thought to yourself, I'll get to that later on. But this is not something you want to wait on. Choose life insurance through Ladder today. Ladder is 100% digital. No doctors, no needles, no paperwork. All you have to do is when you apply for $3 million in coverage or less, just answer a few questions about your health in an application. Couldn't be easier. Ladder's customers rate them 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot, and they made Forbes' best life insurance list in 2021. All you need is a few minutes and a phone or a laptop to apply. Ladder's smart algorithms work in real time, so you'll find out if you're instantly approved. There are no hidden fees, and you can cancel at any time. Plus, you'll get a full refund if you change your mind in the first 30 days. Ladder policies are issued by insurers with long, proven histories of paying claims. They're rated A and A+ by AM Best. And since life insurance costs more as you age, now's the time to cross it off your list. So, go to ladderlife.com/upgrade today to see if you're instantly approved. That is ladderlife.com/upgrade. One last time, ladderlife.com/upgrade. A thanks to Ladder for their support of this show and all of Relay FM. All right, what we got next?
Reminders.
Okay.
It's little colored buttons with little radio buttons with lines next to them.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's colorful and it gets across what it's trying to do. Right? It's simple. I think it's clear. It's got the
app
different
looks
colored
like
buttons.
that. Like the app looks like that.
The app looks like that? Yeah.
Okay, where would you want to put it?
A. If not S.
Ooh, I couldn't go to S. A. I think A.
A.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's fitting. Let's we're just lightning round here. Notes.
S tier.
Oh, Notes is an S tier for you. So it's skeuomorphic, but it uses the round rect as not just as the note, but as it's got the top of the note in the yellow at the top, and then it's got the line and it's got the little dots. It's like an iconic representation of a skeuomorphic object in the round rect.
Yep. I think this is an S tier. It's perfect.
I'll go with you.
It's perfect.
I'll go with you. I think that's what icons should aspire to be.
Yep.
And with that, I need to follow up with stickies.
Yeah, I mean, it's also S, right? Like, it is. It is. I was wondering if I would be like, oh, is it better or worse than the Notes icon? This actually might, in some ways, be better because it's got the little folding, like the peeling off of the stack.
The top sticky note is coming off, and again, they're using the round rect as the physical stack of sticky notes.
Yeah, Stickies is way. I
know it's weird, right?
Stickies look like this now. Stickies got some good love on the app, on the new app icon.
Stickies has gotten a glow up, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Next up is files. A white round rect with a blue folder on it. Now the blue folder does have a piece of paper in it because you can see a little bit of the white coming out of the folder. On files, it's a file folder. You see a file folder. Okay, I'm not gonna bring as much passion this time. I'm gonna say I think this app's a failure. I think it's a failure. I think it's a metaphor that doesn't work really that well. Files, the app is called Files. We gave you a file. We put it on a white background because we had to do that. So it's a blue file on a white background, and you can use it. I don't know what else they would do here. It just feels so uninspired and generic and boring.
Yeah.
I mean, Finder, which is the Mac's equivalent of this, is a smiley face. But here it's just, look, it's almost as if the iPad team especially is like, look, you want a file system, here it is, fine. Take it. Here's your folder. Take it. I don't like it. I think it's bad.
It's how bad?
F tier.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue with
I'm
you.
angry about it now.
Whoa. I can tell, so I'm not going to argue.
That folder has wronged me somehow.
Uh-huh.
All right, well, we'll just quickly move on to books. Books.
Books.
It's an orange gradient. It's got a white representation of an open book inside.
Just so much wasted potential.
Mm-hmm.
So much wasted potential. The icon should look like a book.
It should. It should. It should be more like stickies.
Be
more like
just
notes.
in general. Be more. Look, I'm not. I don't think this is F tier.
No,
but I think it's D tier
the orange
as well.
Orange is pleasing,
and also,
I
think
D
that
tier.
the visual representation of the book is better than mail and camera and messages.
Yeah. App Store.
I don't understand this anymore.
Okay. Yeah, App Store is 3 breadsticks in a triangle that spells out the letter A for App Store. Because it's one of those, it's from the era where you need to spell out the name, which, we've got shortcuts with an S in S tier, and we've got news with an N in F tier. So, it's not fundamentally good or bad. My problem with App Store branding is this feels like we are stuck with it because that's how we started. And I never thought the metaphor for the App Store logo was any good anyway.
Yeah, it was a pencil, a paintbrush, and a ruler.
Yeah, it's like 3 items, across from each other, making a, this symbol for application, which is what can't you do with it? You can ruler or brush or pencil with it. And now they're just breadsticks. Now they're just things, the shapes of it, which on one level, like, okay, we removed the skeuomorphism, but like, it wasn't that good a metaphor to begin with.
Like, Test Flight's doing it right, you know? Like,
sure,
it's doing something fun with app icons.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. What if this was a round rect and it was a stack of apps? Like,
Yep.
like it's just, look at all the apps that are in here.
What if it just said 30% on the...
Just a dollar sign, money mouth
big dollar sign.
emoji.
I mean... All right,
So I'm historically opposed to the App Store as a concept.
I think it is
The
at
icon
least
as a concept.
benefiting from it being a brand, right? Like,
Yes,
they at
I
least
agree.
made a brand out of it.
They did.
I would honestly,
did.
I would say this is a C. I think it is better than the stuff that's in D.
I think it's a C.
Yeah.
I agree. I just don't like it.
No, I don't like it either. It would be like the bottom of C, right? But like it's better than the stuff that's in D, that's for sure.
All right. Apple Store. It's a round rect shopping bag with an Apple logo on it with a little handle in a white round rect generic.
I want to give...
I like this icon, and I
okay.
hate the fact that it's in the empty Johnny Ive. It's been banished to the Johnny Ive White Room because I feel like there's another version of this that is like a little more baggy and is not surrounded by the white round rect. But I do like the image of it. It's very clear to me what this is.
Interesting. I was going to say I really don't like this. Like, it kind of just felt like they weren't trying.
I'd rather this be the App Store icon, honestly.
I would be on board with that. I would be on
But it's
board
the
with
Apple
that.
Store icon, very slightly different. I'm okay with giving it like a C. I think it's functional. I think it could be way better than it is, but I don't think it's ugly, and I think it does get across what it's trying to do, which is it's your shopping
I think
Apple
C's
Store.
too high. It's just so basic.
It is, but so is sports.
I think sports is better than this though.
Okay. Oh well, we'll plow it into D. Let's do it.
D is getting packed.
D is, there's a lot of mediocrity going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Xcode. It's a round rect of the breadsticks, but they're like a blueprint.
Yep.
And they're in a little circle, like it's like Galileo was drawing the idealized 3 breadsticks in a triangle.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a round rect around that I think symbolizes your app. And then there's a blue round rect around that symbolizes the paper of the blueprint, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, whole round rect sticking out is a hammer. Now, I will say, I have a hammer that looks a lot like this.
Yeah.
That hammer is awesome and super skeuomorphic in a way that's no longer allowed in most applications. So there's a lot going on in Xcode, I guess, is what I would say. And while it's a complex idea that it's a development tool, I think that's too many things to be on an icon.
Interesting. I love this one because it's... I like the blueprint because then there is a consistent family theme, right, which we've established with Test Flight.
Sure.
And I love that the hammer is all black, like it's a pro hammer. This is
it's a good
Apple's
hammer.
pro hammer.
It's a great hammer. I almost want the Xcode icon to be a hammer. Honestly,
It has always had a hammer in it, right? Like if I'm
I think there's always been a hammer in it,
which
it's
I think
true.
is why the hammer is there, because it is so weird to have a hammer, right? Like couldn't be further away from app development. A hammer.
Yeah, I know. Also, it's just hammers. Yeah, I mean it's constructive, but also destructive.
I would put this in B. I think this is a solid B.
All right, I think it's kind of a mess, and I'd put it at the bottom of B, below like Test Flight. But I think it's I'll go with you on that.
Yeah.
Oh boy, we're getting into some really good ones now here at the end.
Stuff.
QuickTime Player.
QuickTime.
It's on a black background, round rect. It is a Q, metallic brush metal Q. The Q is also like a a minute hand sticking out, which is not how that works, but it's interesting and it makes a cue.
Time.
There's aqua blue on the inside. It's QuickTime Player.
All right. I have so much nostalgia for QuickTime, right?
Mhm.
Like, I love this icon because in looking at it, I can see the other versions of QuickTime.
Yes.
So I love it. I would.
More
This
colorful
is
versions.
this is a B for me. QuickTime. I'm a big
I'll
fan
give it
of the
to
way
you.
this looks.
Yeah.
I'm a big.
I
fan
think
of
that's
the way
fine.
this looks.
I think it is simultaneously very weird and out of style with Apple, like they forgot that it existed, but also because they want to kill this app, but also fun.
I also use it all the time.
Yeah, me too. That's our go-to when somebody has a Mac and doesn't know how to record their podcast.
Yep.
You go to QuickTime Player.
Oh, what I use it for, I use it to check that like a podcast that I've uploaded to our audio host is good. You can open a file you can open an audio file via a URL and it will load in QuickTime.
In QuickTime. Amazing.
Just check that it uploaded.
Also really
properly.
great for pulling the audio track out of a video file so you
Yep.
can work on the audio track.
QuickTime is like such a good app that like just does a
even though
few
they've removed
things,
so much of it,
Yep.
it's still very, very useful. Text edit. So this is a round rect that is a sheet of lined paper, and then there is what looks like a mechanical pencil on
It is
it.
a
And I
mechanical
need your
pencil,
read
yeah.
as a pen addict expert, a mechanical pencil. How do you feel about this one?
It's like for some reason I'm trying to be snobby about it, right? But I actually think it looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like the mechanical pencil is pretty well rendered. Like the fact that they took the time to knurl the grip and put like a couple of rings around it.
There we go.
They're doing a good job with it. I think it's a B. I think it's a B. Like looking at our other Bs, I'll put it there. Like it feels Xcode-y to me.
Yeah, what elevates it for me is probably because it's old, but it's using the mandatory round rect and yet also for meaning, and because it's lined paper, and then it's breaking out of it slightly with the pencil.
Yeah.
Now the breaking out of it slightly with a beautifully rendered detailed pencil is very old Apple icon style. It might as well be a robot holding a pipe at this point.
I like it more than
But it's good.
I like that
It's good.
they did a good rule on the paper. They put the red margin line. Like there's good details in here. Plus, it's not white. It's like off-white.
Right. Yeah.
There's a lot of good. There's a lot of good in here.
There's a lot of good detail. I think a more modern version of this icon, if they cared enough to do one, would remove the skeuomorphic pencil and have a more idealized pencil. I think it would still be okay, but it is a beautiful skeuomorphic pencil.
Well, I mean, it's kind of would be like Pages.
Yeah, that's true.
Which we
haven't even gotten there yet.
Spoilers.
Time Machine. It's a gray round rect, and inside it is basically the Time Machine logo. It's a clock with the arrow running backward.
My issue here with the Time Machine logo is what Time Machine used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Where you would enter a star field, basically, and that used to be in the logo. Makes me kind of long for that. Like, I long for that UI.
Sure.
The current one is just like, whatever. You know, that's kind of how I feel about it. I just don't really have any feeling towards it.
C? D?
I would see this because it's very C is middle of the road. It's mediocre. This is like,
yeah, it is.
You can see what it is. The color that they chose, the green that they chose, is nice, but like I miss the old one a lot.
I'm gonna bring a little passion to the next one.
Okay,
it's Font Book. This is a good icon. It is a book. The round rect is a book. It's got the little tabs on the side, and on the cover, it's got A in 4 different fonts. What else do you want for Font Book? What do you want?
You're selling me on this.
It's good.
I did not think very much of Font Book, but the fact that it looks like a book that has fonts in it, like it looks like that.
Right.
Like,
it's got binding on the left and the tabs on the I think it's better than Contacts, is what I was saying.
It's better than Contacts, yes. But But what I'll say is it's unfair to contacts, and this is a Mac app, so it can
Sure.
do this, right?
Sure.
Like they're able to break out of the round rack, but that's its advantage. A?
I think it's an A.
Yeah, I think so.
I agree. Well, we're going to get the smiley face in here because we have to. This is Migration Assistant, in which a gray Mac smiley face hides behind the blue Mac smiley face.
Why is it
and
got to
an-
be
and
so
an-
creepy?
And an arrow points from the one to the other.
It looks like a little friendly guy is about to be murdered by another friendly
I'm
guy.
stealing your identity.
I hate it. I hate this. Why is Finder this way anyway? Right, like I felt like we could take a slight aside. Why is
Right.
this? Why is the Finder icon
Okay,
like that?
the answer really is that this is the Mac OS icon, and they wanted to use it because people have sort of a fondness for it, and it's reminiscent of the original Mac smiley face. And so they repurposed it as the Finder icon, replacing, I forget even what the Finder icon was, a classic Mac maybe. So they used the Mac smiley face. They felt like that was a good representation of this app that only runs on the Mac, and it feels very Mac-y.
But like,
it doesn't
is
really
it
fit.
2 people?
Well, this migration is. Oh no, it is. So the Mac icon, yeah, that's the idea. Is that it's one person in profile and then another person kind of behind them forming
Sure.
this face.
But why though?
So, but now,
You know?
but with Migration Assistant, there's another. It was it was the style at the time. It was like a flourish to make a. They needed a Mac OS icon for the first time when they did the clones, and so they built that face. And so yeah, if you stare at it, you're like, oh, it's a guy looking to the left. Oh, but there's also a whole face there. Right? Like it's both.
I'm not sure how I feel about it. Like, I think, like in general, I don't think like when being faced to consider it.
Yes.
I don't like this icon for Finder. I don't like it. It's weird. It's weird, and it doesn't make any sense. Like it doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
Why is it even called Finder? Like that's just like its own thing. Sorry, all
Sure.
the Stevens out there. Like that doesn't make any sense
Yeah.
anymore. And then like,
Should they call it files and put a file folder on it?
I mean, yeah, probably, if we're being honest, right? Like, it should be called files. And it's really, and just like the little person and another person, like, how close is this person to the other person? It's very strange. And Migration Assistant is even weirder. But if for some reason, okay, why isn't this 2 computers?
Yeah.
Why isn't that?
I think it's a D.
Yeah, sure. Because it's fine. But like, why isn't Migration Assistant 2 computers?
Yeah. Right? With an arrow. Actually, you're right. I'm gonna put an F. I'm gonna put an
Okay.
F because it's just it fails the logical test.
Yeah.
Like, why is this even here? Why does this exist?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I just take the Mac OS icon and paste that in a couple of times. Desaturate, arrow, done. Terminal. It's round rect with a little outline, which is nice. And then inside it, there is a little prompt and an underscore like cursor for you to enter your Unix commands.
Yeah, it's like, I don't love this, but I cannot fault it in any possible way. Like, this is probably an A tier.
I think my only complaint here is that I think it used to have color and now it doesn't.
That is what I'm missing. I want the text to be green, but I know it
Yeah.
isn't. Right? This is my thing of like, everything where I'm like, I wish it was this, would be like, well, but that would defeat the purpose of the icon. It's
Yeah,
meant
although
to look like terminal.
My terminal is green.
I'm sure it is.
Right? Because that's what it is. It's like a little CRT. I feel like they've deflated it from being like an actual CRT or something, which is fine. But I wish that there was some color in the text. But I do think it's very good. I think it's an A tier.
Yeah, it's really good. My favorite thing about this is that they put a bezel, like a black bezel. Like it is what a screen looks like. I think that design-wise, that is really clever.
Yeah, like it's a screen, and then the outside of the round rect is the outside of the bezel.
Yep.
Okay, in the family, activity monitor.
I hate this one.
I
hate this one.
It's like the patient is dying on the table.
I hate it. Why Why does it need to be this? Why is it like a heart? What are these called? These heart, like a heart monitor, right?
It's like an EKG, yeah.
Why is it
Heart
that?
monitor, yeah.
Why is it that?
Well,
I
your
don't
Mac's about to
understand why it's
die.
that.
That's why you opened activity monitors to see if your Mac is dead.
Honestly, the settings app would be better for me here as an activity monitor. Like I'm peeking inside at the machine, you know, and it's got its gears. I really don't like this one.
Okay, what would you say?
I mean, it's D. It's not an F, but like
It's not an F because it's not incompetent. We
Yeah.
just don't like it. Okay, here's a fun one that's related. We're going through some system ones now. Console. This is a bezel. It's like the same bezel as the other two, but inside it, in orange text, it says "Warning," and then off the edge, and then it says A736.
Warning, hey, 736. I don't like this. Why is that this way? What is going on here? What is warning, hey, 736?
Well,
what is
it's
that?
trying to. I mean, you use console to look at logs. So it's this
Alright.
sort of thing, like that there would be a warning and that it would be like on a certain day at a certain time this happened. And so it's like showing you kind of what would be in a console.
But why is the text cut off, though?
I know. Because they just want to represent it partially. Like, I like the color.
Jason,
I like the
can tell
idea.
you why that text is cut off, right? I know the reason why, and that makes me more mad. Somebody did it.
Because people would be afraid that
Yes.
it's telling
you
them
can't
something
say
bad about their
warning.
system.
But you can say,
Yeah.
how many letters can I say? You can have 5.5 letters.
5.5 letters. Yeah.
That
That's
takes
That's
it.
the
This
limit.
takes it down from me because I can see the committee that designed the console
Right.
icon. I see them in the
We
room
wanna-
having this discussion.
So,
But I can't put it in F. It doesn't belong in F.
the color alone elevates it to D.
Yeah.
We'll just put it
But
that
you see,
way.
here's the thing, right? Like the design of this is as visually good as the A tier activity monitor, right?
Yeah.
That actually is the same as the A tier terminal.
Terminal.
And
Yeah.
it's so like if you look at, for me, it's like console, activity monitor, and terminal. They should all be A tier.
I know. And the color actually in console, I wish that was in the terminal. That
Yeah.
would make it S tier.
But what they put inside of them, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work for me.
Well, get ready for something. Disk utility. Disk utility
I
Is an-
love this.
is an offset round rect that looks like a surgical tray with a white background and it's a silver around the corners. It's got the top part of a stethoscope laying on the surgical tray, and then emerging. Okay, I have to explain this in a certain way. There is a classic spinning hard drive that is sort of floating above the front of the tray, and snaking out from the back of the tray as if it was hiding behind the bottom of the hard drive is the end of the stethoscope, which is being placed on the middle of the front spinny part of the spinning hard drive.
Jason,
Um,
I don't know if you're gonna like this or not. This is an S tier icon. This is
no.
as insane as it can
It
get.
is bad. It
I
is so
love
bad.
it. But I love how bad it is. It's like it's everything. It's everything. Like how much
Okay,
effort has been put into this?
Let's just do it. It's going to be the CGP Cray thing where like with the Maryland flag where it falls all the way off the bottom and back around to the
That's
top.
how I feel about this.
Because it's
There is
bananas.
Nothing is good about this. But it's all great because it's together. It's so mad. I love it. It just doesn't make any sense. This thing is perfect.
Okay. Screen sharing in which a necklace top of a person looks at a blue gradient screen in the same kind of bezel thing that we saw with those previous ones.
You know what's like so weird about this is like the light of the screen is illuminating the person.
Yeah,
right?
they're
That's,
glowing
like,
with
weird.
the screen sharing light of the blue. They're sharing a screen that's blank, but they're getting ready. Something
Yeah.
good's gonna happen.
I don't know how I feel about this one.
Yeah. I think it used to be something else too, but this is what it is now. We've got this kind of person that we're looking at from behind and they're observing a screen. I don't know. D?
Yeah, it's not doing anything for me at all.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. We gotta move quickly through a bunch of these to
All
get
right.
them done.
Get them all done.
Numbers. It's graphs. It's charts in green background with white little bar chart thing.
I was gonna say D, but I think I'd say C. I think it's fine. Like it's doing the job.
Yeah, I agree. I might even say B.
I'm fine with that.
I wish
like
it was
it.
colorful, right? I wish the bars were colorful
Yes.
instead of the
Then
background
it
being
could be
colorful.
A.
But they've decided to do that Microsoft thing where
Yeah.
every app has to be like a color.
Yeah.
And this is also Excel's color green, so I feel like they're doing that. But like, I don't know. I think I'm gonna say B for numbers. Okay, here we got a pen and or pencil, Mike. It's Pages. It's orange, and there's a white pen, I guess, leaving
Yeah.
a mark on the orange round rect. What do you think?
I would say C for this.
Okay.
I think
Why?
Pages is missing what Numbers has and what maybe Keynote has. I don't think it's doing as good a job of showing you what the app is for. Like, you don't write with a pen.
Yeah, it's true. Also, it's an app called Pages, and there are no pages visible in this
Exactly.
icon.
Like, it doesn't.
There are also no numbers in the numbers icon, I should say.
Yes, okay, that's a very good catch on yourself. I just don't think it's showing the output in the way that the other two do.
Okay. I think that's probably fine. Keynote.
I think Keynote is B. I like that it has color. I like the lectern. Like, I think that, it's a presentation.
It's got a lectern with a chart on it.
Yeah.
I think so. I think that's the strongest of the three, in
Yeah.
fact. Yeah. Okay. Preview. It's a white round rect, and inside it is a picture of a seascape, and then in front of it is that little carrot, or
I think it's
forget
called
what
a
they call it.
loop.
A loop, yes, that is a magnifier, so you can look through it.
I don't even know what to say about preview. Honestly, I don't even know.
It's old school. It's very automator. It's got skeuomorphic element that has managed to escape for a while. I feel like they could do better with something modern, with a modern take on this. But I like that it has put a photo in the round rect instead of having the round rect be generic. Because like there's a generic version of this
Sure.
that's got like a loop on a white background. It's better than that, but I think
I will
D.
agree. Yeah, I'll agree. The photo does save it from being just like, what is even happening here? You know?
Okay, let's go to Hollywood for iMovie, which is a star with a movie camera in it, like you're on the Walk of Fame in Hollywood.
I like the star, honestly. I do.
I mean, it's not a professional tool. It's for fun.
I would see this. I would say C.
There are a lot of things I don't like about this, including the movie camera. I think that the star is like a metaphor too far for iMovie. But then again, what are you gonna do? How are you
Yes.
gonna impart this? I'll give it to you at C. I would say C or D.
I would.
I don't love it.
I think it's.
Okay.
C. I think it's.
We're
C.
winding up. We got a final three here, and
All
man,
right.
they are a story. Photo booth. Red round rect. Picture of a photo, like a generic photo of that necklace person, and then another one that's just sort of like the back of it or something that's blank with a outline, and then hovering above it is a lens.
Why did they go so hard on the skeuomorphism of the lens and then just have the photos be just white on red? Like, this
I
used
think
to
that there's
look like photos in a photo booth.
In a photo booth, I know. Well, and it's this weird thing where it's like we'll allow you to have a skeuomorphic element floating above the generic round rect, and so that's why you have this and preview and disk utility. We're like, we'll give you the one, but although disk utility, it's entirely not. Anyway, we're not going to talk any more about disk utility.
D.
D.
Yeah.
It used to be so good.
It used to be so good.
I think it's just it's in the D category now. All right, there's 2 more left. I want to know what you think about Script Editor, which is again a pencil and a white background with a script that is the S script of AppleScript.
Okay, so I wanted to put this one in C, like below text edit, because they're like, they're of a similar ilk. But then when I saw a larger version of this, I just looked at the larger version. The script that is drawn, that is like on the icon, is drawn in pencil. That elevates it for me. This is B. This should go along with text edit. I think that these are of an ilk.
Okay. Just because it's old doesn't mean it can't be good, people. Okay, that brings us to our last item. I can't believe we got here. Here it is. It's the big one. Get out, crank your amp to 11. It's GarageBand, where the round rect is an amp and floating above it is a big guitar.
F. No, okay. No, this is S tier. This thing is.
I think it is.
Bananas.
I think it is.
I love it. They just went so hard on this one.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the guitar is great, and then the fact that the round rect is an amp is great. Like, that's all really good. So I think well done. Well done. Well, we did it.
We sure did.
That was a lot of icons.
It was a lot of icons.
But it's the summer of fun,
we
learned.
Fun.
I feel like we learned a lot about ourselves and how we feel about icons along the way. I hope the listeners learned, even if they didn't agree with us, they learned something about what they feel about icons along the way too.
So there is an image in the show notes. If you've waited for this long, you want to see them all together. So I decided during the show that I'm going to put a before and after. I hope that people work that out. So you could look at them if you want to look at them. But if you want to see how we did this, you can also go to watch the show on YouTube as well, and you can see the video. In Upgrade Plus today, what I want to do is draft a top 5 each.
Okay, great.
Of these.
Let's do it.
It's going to be fun. So if you want to go to getupgradeplus.com, you can sign up. You'll get ad-free longer episodes each and every week. And this week you'll hear our draft. If you would like to send us any feedback, follow-up, or questions about the show, go to upgradefeedback.com. You can check out Jason's work at sixcolors.com and hear his shows on The Incomparable and here on Relay. You can hear me too, and check out my work at cortexbrand.com. You can find us online. Jason is at jsnell, JSNELL. I am at imyke, IMYKE. You can watch clips of the show on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. We're at Upgrade Relay. Thank you to our members who support us at Upgrade Plus, and thank you to our sponsors of this week's episode, Ladder, Vitally, and Squarespace. We'll be back next time, maybe for a draft. We'll find out. Thank you so much for listening. Say goodbye, Jason Snell.
Goodbye, Mike Hurley.